Very good morning to one and all present here. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to all of you today. I heartily welcome to eminent speaker Dr. Ankur Arun Kulkarni, Vice Chancellor, Sage University, Indore. I warmly welcome President Sahodaya Group of CBSE Schools, Mr. D. Ashok Kumar. Other dignitaries of Sahodaya Group of CBSE School Bhopal, principals of CBSE schools, and learned teachers. Let us create niches of excellence in every school. In that regard, every school should have something interesting to offer. I hope to see our schools breaking new paths so that we can inspire and help others level up. The global shift and demographic changes will have a huge impact on the future of jobs and on lifestyles. Our school leaders need to have a good understanding of these shifts if we are to prepare our students well for the future. Sahodaya Group of CBSE School Bhopal is leading enthusiastically its school in this challenging 21st century. I am pleased to learn that over the last few years, it has grown tremendously in reforming and upgrading its unique matrix of teachers training, notwithstanding the fact that the number of affiliated schools are growing at a fast pace. It has also taken up the task of providing parameters for quality education through several academic initiatives. The board supports the school to be very much in tune with blending tradition and innovation. As a leader of school, it is your job to make this change now as meaningful and as seamless as possible. Look, listen, learn, live on, and improve should be the philosophy, as no error can be forever. I would like to introduce you all to the speaker of today's session, Dr. Ankur Kulkarni, Vice Chancellor, Sage University, Indore. He is a PhD holder for Nanyang Tech University, Singapore, in Civil Structure Engineering. Previously, he has been Vice Chancellor at Sri Rawatpura Sarkar University, Raipur. He has a total experience of 31 years in the academic and administrative field in various positions. To date, he has published 11 research publications in international research, journals, and 4 books, chapter in higher education at the national and international level. Along with participation, he also organized 6 workshops, seminars, conferences at international level in the field of higher education. He received ample honors awards for his outstanding work. The most recent is Academic Leadership Providing Global Exposure, awarded by ASSOCHAM India in June 2019. Dr. Ankur Kulkarni is a member of international and national professional bodies. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Ankur Kulkarni to begin with his session on role of teachers to achieve excellence in learning. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neelam madam. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I would also like to start my presentation also simultaneously. So, whether my presentation is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm exceptionally grateful to Sahodaya Group for giving me an opportunity to interact with such a galaxy of intellectuals. Dear friends, this is my journey. And in this last 33 years journey, I worked in different positions. But every time, whenever I was working at different position, I always considered myself as a teacher. And considering ourselves as a teacher gives you a very more insightful and thoughtful view or vision towards every situation. So I would like to start my today's session. As Neelam Madam has said, I am a Vice Chancellor of Sage University, Indore. Our Honorable Chancellor, Engineer Sanjeev Agarwal, is always a motivating force behind our every activities. And he always expects us to do something which will be helpful and excelling to our students. Now, whenever we talk about the role of teacher, it is like a diamond. It is having multiple facets. Because whenever he is a teacher, at the same time, he is a counselor, he is a guide, he is a philosopher, he is a friend, and at the same time, he is expected to have the proficiency in his subject. So, all these attributes makes a person a right teacher. And if we don't have, or if we are having lacuna in any of the facet, then naturally we are considered as one of the lacking phenomena in various from our observers, which are students, which are our higher management, which are other stakeholders, including parents. So I would like to share you one very nice story of our previous president, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was having always correlation with his subordinates as well as all the up and higher authorities. When he was working on a project of eminence national importance, one day there was an exhibition in the city, and all his team members were so much engrossed that they have refused their children to take to that event. But as a team leader, he managed to find the time and he take all the children of his subordinates to that event. Now, because of that, his connectivity not only with his subordinates, but the children of the subordinates has transformed him from an ordinary person to a outstanding human being. And whenever he was at various positions, we have observed that as a role model. Also, a great, our philosopher, great teacher of India, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. He has worked in various positions throughout his career. Not only he has worked as a teacher, as a principal, as a head of institution, but he was on the, he was our ambassador to various countries, including USSR. I do remember one of his stories when he was an ambassador to USSR. When he was interacting in 1949 as an ambassador of India to USSR with Stalin, who was that time the supremo of USSR, and they were discussing about the Cold War. When Stalin has discussed and presented all his various observations regarding reasons of Cold War, and he said, Stalin has mentioned that there are many hands which are responsible for this Cold War. So Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan has listened and informed him everything. And at the end, as a concluding remark, he said, sir, At the end, India is also peace-loving country. USSR also wants to be a peace-loving country. And when we want to clap, then definitely we have to, we need both hands. So we will require your another hand also to clap, which has indirectly mentioned that USSR is also positively involved, actively involved in Cold War. So such teachers who has not only worked as a teacher, but they have rised above their levels because of their dedication, their understanding of human relationship and their perceptions. This is one of the very famous cartoon of R.K. Lakshmanji. And this is not related with any teaching, but it is related with the political scenario at that time. That whenever there is an election, large number of people comes across the voters, they try to woo them, they give various promises and request them to do whatever they want. And at the end of the day, when everything is over, when results are declared, then everybody forgets that voter. So I have taken this, I'm referring this cartoon because teacher's role is also like that when we are a teacher and whenever we are connected, whenever we are engrossed, whenever we are surrounded with large number of our student stakeholders. But if we take the right decision, then we will not be alone like this gentleman at the end of the day. Then we will be surrounded with our past students, our alumni, their parents, and they all will be cherishing our beautiful memories. So this is the very small thing which R.K. Lakshmanji's cartoon, through R.K. Lakshmanji's cartoon, I would like to convey. Now, these are the various important qualities which normally we expect to be for a teacher. Now, whenever we expect a teacher to be an excellent leader, excellent entrepreneur, excellent counselor, excellent facilitator, then we the basic thing which always I say that to be a good teacher, you must be a good human being first. And if you are a good human being, then naturally your intentions will be pious. And then naturally you will be remembered forever by your children or by your students. And you will be making a unforgettable mark on the life of the students. Among that, one very important thing is that love for the students. If you are having a love for students, then whether you are very expert in subject, whether you are whatever your personality, whether you are having communication skill or whether you are not, it makes very less difference. Because when the very important language of communication is love, and if you are having a very the love from bottom of heart for the students, then they understand yourself and they ignore various lacunas which you may be having. Now, apart from that, now currently you should have the love for your subject also. Because if you are having a love for your subject, then naturally you will take every effort to keep yourself upgraded, up equipped, and you will be ahead of the time. Because technology has changed everything. If you tell something, then naturally students will tell, sir, already we have found it on Google and we know all these things. So we have to remain always one step ahead. And if we are really loving our subject, then naturally it will tempt us to make ourselves well equipped in that subject and prepare ourselves. There is a various gross glossary of the characteristics like associating, then ability to change, because now we are observing that with due to this pandemic, lot of transformation has taken place in our education system. And also now our new national education policy, which is approved by our central government and UGC and various affiliating bodies, already is NCRT and all. So naturally, this will be also bringing a lot of transformation, which will be student-centric education. So we have to incorporate those changes. We have to upgrade ourselves. We have to embrace that technology, and then we have to readiness to move forward. And everything above all, as you have to be fearless, because if you are a teacher and if you are having fear, then naturally it is very difficult for a teacher to be a successful person. Now, various lessons which I have also learned and various teachers have written in their articles, that what should be the education and how it helps the teachers to transform the life of students. In this course also, I am going to show you one small video in coming time, which will also help you to understand that what is the importance of giving. So there are theories of teaching, and which enables us to have more perception about the subject, more perception about the teaching learning process, understanding student behavior, their psychology, and very important knowledge, and that is you should have the knowledge of self. What you can do, what you cannot do, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, and how you can equip yourself to overcome those weaknesses. Because every person cannot have all the strengths, cannot have all the weaknesses. So you have to identify that what is your strength, what is your weakness. Because suppose you are having a batting style like Virendra Sehwag, then you cannot bat like Rahul Dravid. If you are having a characteristics of bowler, then you cannot become a batsman. So you have to identify yourself and choose accordingly and decide accordingly the career path as a teacher. And definitely subject is very important, because you should have sufficient command as far as communication, knowledge of subject. Now there are various other parameters which are mentioned in this image, which is teamwork, strategy, decision, ethics. Ethics is very important because ethics cannot be taught. Ethics gets transferred from teacher's behavior. If teacher is busy in the classroom on smartphone, and then naturally he cannot expect the students to be attentive. If he is punctual, if he is coming prepared,
ऐसा क्या?
then naturally it will directly and indirectly bring those ethical values among his students and his followers. I have mentioned that as the technology is changing, then teaching methods, strategies are constantly changing. Because we were not using that frequently the technology before pandemic. Now post-pandemic, the situation has changed a lot. Even our organizations, our regulatory bodies are saying that now online education, certain percentage of online education is acceptable, because the situation has changed. Because of changing situation, the technology embracement of the teachers has improved. Earlier technology, the teachers were not that technology savvy, but due to this pandemic, we have become the technology savvy. And using that technology in our teaching will definitely makes and brings the joy of learning among the students. And very important, and the last one is the teachers who are accomplishment. They'll definitely work in team, because they understand the teamwork is very important as far as nurturing of students is concerned. We always find that when the mother and father work cohesively, then it helps students to become excel in their life. So similarly, the teachers, if they are having a good uh, team working, good understanding among each other, understanding the strengths and weaknesses of each other, and helping in the betterment of the student, then it brings excellent results for the students. The earlier I have mentioned also that knowledge of self is very important, and knowledge of students, because if we know that what is the psychological status of a student, then naturally we will be in a better position to nurture that student. If we don't understand what is his psychological behavior, how he is seeing this world, because every child is different. And if we can understand the behavior and its responses of the student, then it becomes very easy for us to be an excellent teacher. Now, if we are having the knowledge of each and every student, then we can customize our learning activities. Because students, every student is not unique. They are having different abilities, different weaknesses, different likings, different orientations. And so if we want to excel them, then naturally we have to customize our teaching learning process as far as number of students, various students are concerned. And it is possible, because whenever we are having a group of 30 or 60 students, we identify that a better student who can lead, and we always ask him to be or her to be a monitor, because we identify those skills. Similarly, we understand the person, student who is better in sports, and accordingly we allow him to undertake those activities. So it happens, but it is rigorously we have to do for each and every student, so that we can bring excellence of each and every student. This is the skill development is one of the important point which our new national education policy emphasizes. Because skill-based education, which earlier was a part of ancient Indian historical education system, we used to have the transforming of education from parents, grandparents to a student. If a carpenter, his father is carpenter, if his grandfather is carpenter, then naturally he used to be an excellent carpenter. But what has happened that in recent times, this transformation of skills has stopped. And we want to identify the students who are having better skills and who can have those skills, who can adopt and who can be stand on their own in their field. So as a teacher, it becomes our role, very important role, to identify that what are the traits the student is having. And if we can identify those traits, then we can definitely guide that student to excel in that particular field, including drawings, skill, artwork, then video making, painting, and various, including sports. So if we can identify, then we can enhance those skills. And it has been observed that if we can enhance those skills at an earlier stage, then definitely he can excel. Because if the student come to know at the age of 18 or 20 what skills or what traits he is having in his personality is having, then it is very difficult for him to reach to the highest level in this life. But if a teacher identify hidden traits of the skills within his personality, then they can guide him, they can discuss with his parents and help him to grow. We have seen many times that movie of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that when he is in a school, that sports teacher identify him as a goalkeeper of a football, and he asked him to be uh, a wicket keeper, and he gives him an forcefully he gives him ask him to be a wicket keeper. And later is the history that a person from a very small village from a Bihar and Ranchi becomes the Indian cricket team captain. At the age of 19-20, he joined international cricket and represented India also. But why it has happened? Because accidentally the teacher identified the hidden skills within that boy, and he allowed him to grow forcefully, because that student was reluctant. He has not identified what fortune he is having. The teacher also has not identified that what he can become, but he thought that he is in need of a wicket keeper, and this boy can be a substitute. And then it has become a history. Similarly, we can take the example of Sachin Tendulkar. His brother identified, because he failed in his life to be a cricket player, and he identified that his younger brother is having better skills than him. Then he asked him to stop his studies and not to do. After it, he left his studies and he asked him to completely focus on cricket as his career. And then we got little master at the age of 16. He became the international player. If these skills were identified at the age of 20, then he may not have excelled. Similarly, Lata Mangeshkar, her father, Dinanath Mangeshkar ji, identified her skills at a very age of 6 and 7. He nurtured her, he motivated her. Then we have found that at the age of 10, she started as a playback singer. So this happens because of the persons, teachers who are around these children and who identify these hidden skill traits. And if you can identify and if you can bring such a nice gem, if in your whole life, if you can bring only one student to such an excellent level, then your whole life will be remembered by the persons all over the country. So we have to remain focused. We have to see that whether there is any hidden talent among the students and how we can bring that excellence out of that student. And for that, we have to be a facilitator. Naturally, we have to solve the problems. Now, this is one of the mockery of our education system, because we are giving various types of fixed question papers, which are multiple choice, true, false, or fill in the blank. So when the question is asked in the interview, this is again one of the famous cartoon, which says that when the interviewer asked the question, and he asked whether this is a multiple choice, true, false, or fill in the blanks. So our mind, we develop that mindset that whenever there are the questions, real questions of real life, then also student find out whether it is having a multiple choice or whether there will be yes, no, or fill in the blank. And then it becomes very difficult for them to take the right decision and excel. Now, these are the various traits which enables us to find out the effective teachers. So this will help us to become the effective teachers. And among that, very important is effective communication. If we can communicate, so I have said that we must have a love for the teaching, for learning, for the students. And if we are having a love from our bottom of heart, then it gets transferred through our eyes, through our body language. And so we can communicate effectively. And if we are not happy for teaching that subject, if we are not happy on that day, then it gets communicated to the students, because students are very great observers. So we have to communicate our feelings about the students very effectively. That is very positively. And second is command over language. Then we have to diversify the learning experience, because experiential learning is very important. Our new national education policy mentions that experiential learning has to be adopted. And so we have to ensure that wherever possible, we should include experiential learning, which will give a better feeling, better experience to the students, which will be visualization will take place for the students. For that, we can use animations, we can use videos like that. And we have to encourage students, we have to have the better connect with the students. If you are having a better connect with the students, then you don't need any communication, because students will understand each and everything by themselves. So these are the various attributes which I have listed here. A teacher is caring, consistent, fair, because students are always observing whether you are impartial. And if you it by any mistake, if happens, you have to acknowledge that okay, I have not understood. And honest, knowledgeable, prepared, respectable, and responsible. Because many times we find that we have to give the requisite respect to the students. It helps them to building their self-image. If we are not respecting the students, then it is likely to affect their self-image also. Now, this is a very small video which I would like to show you for 1 or 2, 3 minutes, which guides us. Is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But you have to read the subtitles because it is in Thai language. This video indicates that giving is a very important thing, and we are very lucky as a teacher that we are having an opportunity to give education, facilitate, because if we will sow a small seed, it will be a very big tree after 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years. And whatever the deeds we will do will come in some or the other way in our life and will help us to be remarkable. Like whatever Achrekar ji might have felt when he died as a guru of Sachin Tendulkar. So after that video again we will continue with our presentation. So these are the various qualities which I would like to list here: knowledge, enthusiasm, ability, love, caring, passion, talent. But remember, apart from that, the very important thing is having the true love to the students. If it is there, then everything is immaterial. If you are caring about them, then naturally it will help. Now there are various things we come across. This is one of the very famous cartoon again of R.K. Lakshmanji, that for a fair selection everybody has to take the same exam, and this is one of the things which always we face. And as a teacher, we are compelled to take this examination for all the students in the same way. But we are having lot of opportunities to identify and give the weightage accordingly for their attitudes, for their skills, so that there will not be any injustice with the students who are having some excellent qualities, hidden traits. This, I think I am having 40 minutes time, and out of that, I have already spoken for 30 minutes. So I would like to conclude within coming 10 minutes, because this is a very long presentation which can continue for 30 minutes more. So to be a good teacher, we have to always equip ourselves with the latest technology, latest knowledge. If we will give the respect to the students, to the parents, then naturally we receive the same thing. Because we have to communicate the same things to the students, but we can communicate in a proper way. And if we are communicating the things in a respectful way, then naturally we receive that respect back in our life. We have to collaborate with different agencies, different organizations for betterment of our students, for experiential learning, for their exposure. And you have to be kid when you are among them. So these are the various characteristics of inspiring teachers, which are innovative, enthusiastic, flexible, have positive relationship, who are reflective and in collaborations, who are positive in classroom management, because classroom management is also one of the very important aspect. And stimulating classroom climate that should feel that students should feel safe. Now, whenever we talk about the relationship, the positive relationship plays very important thing for nurturing and making them excel in life. And for that, we have to maintain that dynamism of the relationship. We have to be source of inspiration for the students. We should, if we are compassionate, if we understand their feelings, then naturally we can transmute that inspiration directly and indirectly among those students. Now, this is one of the famous cartoon of again R.C. Lakshmanji, which says communication. Now they have said that we will not have any discrimination as far as language is concerned. And they have written it in English that we will respect English, Hindi, and every language. But the students who are undergoing hesitation, even they are not in a position to read that English also. So if the communication is not taking place, then what is the use of having the dialogue? So you have to understand that how they will understand, what they will understand, and proper perception of your emotions or of your intention has to take place. Successful teachers who are tough and commanding, who must know all about their subject. They should know everything about some subject, and they should know something about other many subjects. They have to nurture and develop the students. They have proper vision. They should visualize that what will happen after 20 years, 30 years, if they are taking a certain steps. Creative and innovativeness is very important, and ethical values are very essential. I would like to ask you the questions about these teachers, because these are the various photographs which reflects Dronacharya and Krupacharya. This is Maharshi Sandipani and Acharya Chanakya. These are the various ancient Indian academicians. Now you can write in the chat box that who will be your role model, so that I can answer some questions. So according to you, who will be your role model? Because Dronacharya and Krupacharya, we all remember them because of their great students. Because teachers are remembered mainly because of their teaching and their students. Dronacharya and Krupacharya we remember because Dronacharya was a teacher. They were relative, very close relative, Dronacharya and Krupacharya. Dronacharya was the teacher of Pandavas. Krupacharya was a teacher for Kauravas. Sandipani was a teacher to Lord Krishna and Sudama. Acharya Chanakya is very well known because a lot of serials are there. So Chandragupta Maurya, he is known disciple. Now, one thing I would like to clarify here, and that is there is a basic difference between Acharya, because Dronacharya, Krupacharya, and Chanakya, all these three are the Acharya, and Sandipani is Maharshi, because there is a basic small difference that they were servants. They were working with the king as his office bearer, as a teacher. So they were salaried persons and they were getting regular salary from that kingdom. And Maharshi Sandipani was called Maharshi. He is not called as Acharya because he was not a salaried person. The student used to go and stay in his ashram, in his gurukul, take education and acquire the knowledge and skills, and used to pay whatever they feel to pay. Like this, it was there. So, Dronacharya is known because of Ekalavya as well as Arjun, because these are the great disciples he was having. We know all that story of Arjuna also, that he was having so much concentration that he was in a position to see only the eye of the bird. And Chanakya is one of the different teacher. He was having his own agenda, and accordingly he has transformed Chandragupta Maurya and made him the king of the person who was not having any family background, has transformed to be a king of the total that time Hindustan, or that time the complete India. So, as a teacher, we have to, there are some strengths and some weaknesses, because we are not Maharshi, we are Acharya. We all are salaried persons. But at the same time, we have to try to incorporate some characteristics from Maharshi Sandipani. He used to treat equally to both, whether he is the God himself, Lord Krishna, or whether there is a person who don't have money to have his own clothes like Sudama. So that equality, imparting, transforming, giving education, irrespective of their background, their financial capacities, that is the characteristic of Sandipani. But at the same time, being a acharya, we have to be uh, dedicated to our kingdom, and we have to try the best. We have to bring the best from our students. I think I can continue for a long time, but I would like to take questions. I would like to stop here my screen sharing. May I stop?
Sir, you can continue till 12, not a problem. Then we will
But
have
no,
questions.
I have given some questions also. So I would like
Okay.
to
Okay, sir.
stop here, and I would like to question and answer, because that will also take 10-15 minutes. Because these are the various attributes, characteristics of a teacher. And hmm? So if time permits, definitely I'll come back to this presentation. Will you please ask the
Sure, sure, sir, sure. Thank you very much, sir, for interesting talk. Now, if anyone has any question, I'm sure sir would be pleased to answer them. So, teachers, please, you can put your question in the chat box. Sir, I would like to take one question. May I,
Yeah.
sir?
Yes, please, madam.
How can we avoid cheating in the online and improve the academics? Want to know more about argument learning?
Yes.
So,
One thing is very important, which I was mentioning about the ethical learning. If we are having high ethics, then, because why we are having so much system of observation? Because we feel that the students will have the cheating. But if we are having high ethical and moral values, then who is observing? Whether I am sitting in any room, or whether I am sitting in front of computer, who is observing? I myself is observing myself. And if I am honest with myself, then I will not commit any cheating. So that ethical values has to inculcate among the student. Because if that ethical values are not among the student, then okay, we will have the softwares, because normally now currently there are a lot of softwares which are used by various universities for in online examination, which takes the videos and snaps for every time, and they identify whether the student was focused on the question paper, or whether he was at the same time referring to the another electronic device or not. And there are another systems which identify whether they were having another browsers open at the same time or not. These are the technological things. But very important, as a teacher, we must bring those ethical values among students, so that whether the teacher is there or not, the student, because you will not be there forever. After 10th or after 12th, the student will go to university. After university, he will go for job. So he is having his own life. How you can monitor him throughout your life? So if the ethical values you will inculcate during his student life, then it will be with him as observer throughout his life, and he will be observing himself. You have to always tell if you find anybody cheating. There is one very nice story of a very great teacher that one day the teacher was in the classroom and one student came and told him that, sir, somebody has stolen my watch. Now the teacher has said, okay, I will, I know because the students, 30 students are there in the class and I can find it out, I will find it out. But I request all of you, please, with your handkerchief, please tightly close your eyes. Then he goes and find out, and he finds one student in his pocket because the student was fully aware that he will be caught and he will be punished. So that teacher searches everywhere and he found that the watch is in that student's pocket. But that teacher doesn't disclose that. Then after that, he puts that watch on the table and asks them to remove the handkerchief from it. And he said, "Arey, it was lying somewhere and I have just found and please take it." But that evening, that student came to that teacher and he said, "Sir, I have committed mistake." He said, "Okay, I am there to observe today, but who will be there after this? Throughout your life, you have to observe." And that student has risen very enormously in his life. He has never cheated afterwards. So we are there to groom those students. We are there to bring the best out of that student so that they will be excellent. So we are not supposed to monitor why they are cheating, but we have to bring the ethical values among them so strongly that they will be the best citizens of the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. You truly said we should inculcate values, we should infuse values in students rather than it's not a matter of only academics or examination. It is about their life. Thank you, sir. I would like to take next question, sir. Do marks represent excellence? Do marks represent excellence?
Yeah. See what has happened that there is a education system and there has to be some evaluation. Now, we have seen, I was telling you the mythological and historical stories of great teachers, and we have seen that they have taken the examination and the Arjun has excelled when Dronacharya has taken the examination of arrow, bow and arrow. So that was the course and they have taken the examination. And then he must have given them the marks also. So there is an examination system and there has to be there really the marks. But one thing is there that it doesn't represent completely a student's total personality. It is a one part of the personality of a student. So if student is having good marks, he is likely to excel in his life. But if the student is not having very high marks, it doesn't mean that he is not going to excel in his life, because there are various aspects, various avenues in life where he can excel. And as a teacher, we have to evaluate them, but at the same time, we have to guide them that, okay, this is a evaluation of your memory, your knowledge of the subject, but this is not your evaluation. This is not your evaluation. This is the evaluation of your memory. This is the evaluation of your knowledge of the subject. This is not your evaluation, because there are various examinations in life which will be evaluating you as a person, your temperament, your patience, your caringness, your love, your patriotism. Various aspects of life are there and which will be judged in various examinations of life. We are here to examine few attributes and which are required for certain admissions. Okay, so it is not a true reflection of your total personality. It is a reflection of your memory. It is a reflection of your understanding of that subject. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please
Yeah,
go ahead.
thank you. I'm Kala from Sikha, Indore. Sir, I would like to know how to balance the low achievers and high achievers in the same class.
Yeah. So what I have said that we are having a glossary of subjects. So every person, every student cannot be best in mathematics. Every student cannot be worst in all subjects. We have to identify. We have to identify what are their strengths. We have to nurture it. We have to highlight that. Whenever we get an opportunity, we have to highlight that, okay, you are having, okay, you are not good in mathematics, but at the same time, we have to tell him that what is good in his personality, what excellence he can achieve, because then only we can achieve that balance. Otherwise, what will happen? That the persons who are very, because nobody is best in all subjects and nobody is worst in all subjects. There are some subjects where the students, somebody will be good in drawings, somebody will be good in memory, somebody will be in reasoning abilities, somebody is in sports. So we have to identify those strengths of that personality. And I think mapping is very essential for that. If we can do the mapping, then it becomes very easy for us to know that what are the personality, hidden personality traits, and we can allow them to grow and excel.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We'll do it.
Any other question anyone has? Sir, I have another question
Okay, madam.
from them. How to make balance in syllabus completion and justification with the subject? So,
See, if a teacher is a planned, organized, then completion of syllabus is not a difficult thing because he plans. Because many times what happens that we spend a lot of time in chapter 1 and we get lesser time for last chapter. I know many teachers who have not taught in their life the last topics, last chapters, because they don't reach up to that. So it should not happen. And I think in most of the institutes now, teaching plan is there. So if the planning is there, then completion of syllabus is there. But at the same time, what we have to do that due to technology, the students are having a lot of resources. So we have to become the facilitator. That okay, if we are talking about a science, so this is the particular topic and which is available at this link. So you can see this video because there are very professionally developed videos and subject literature is available. So we have to become a facilitator. We have to explore online and we have to make it available to our students very easily so that they can go through that, they can acquire that knowledge and they will have that feeling and zeal and enthusiasm of learning.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next question is, sir, guide us the ways to achieve success.
Way to achieve
Success.
success.
Yeah.
there is no any formula for success. There is no any formula for success, and success is very relevant because if we find X person is very successful, the X person doesn't feel that he's successful. He feels that Y is successful. So success is a very relevant term. But one thing is there that what we have to enjoy, we have to passionate whatever we are doing. And if we are not feeling, we are not enjoying, then we have to change. Because change means change ourselves or change the profession or change our methods, change our techniques, change ourselves to in a different way we have to present so that we should start enjoying. Because if there is no any enjoyment in teaching, learning or anything, whatever we are doing, then we don't feel that it is a success. Because success is not any destination, it is a journey. And if we can enjoy during that journey, then success is a joy. Because nobody, if we will feel that okay, I have reached to Mount Everest and then now I am successful, it doesn't happen. Actually success is that journey when we are climbing that Himalaya and we try to reach to Mount Everest, because reaching to Mount Everest is just a fraction of minute or some time where we are there. So that joy is very small, but at the same time journey is very long because we take few days to climb to Mount Everest, or if in our life also it takes few months, few years to reach to that destination. So journey is very important, and journey is actually we have to enjoy, and that is a real success if we can enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to call upon Sanjana Bias ma'am to ask her question.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर. गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन. मेरा सवाल था सर, सीबीएसई से मैंने अचीव किया था 2020 में. मेरी एक शिष्या लेखिका साहू ने 100% लाए थे. 100 में से 100 मार्क्स आए थे उसको हिंदी में. तो इतने अचीवमेंट के बाद उसका आज तक कोई सर्टिफिकेट या टीचर्स के लिए या संस्था के लिए कुछ भी प्राप्त नहीं हुआ. तो सर 19-20 की मैं, अब वो 11th में आई है और ये कोरोना काल में मैं उसे अभी भी पढ़ा रही हूँ और 12th है उसका भी सर। और 10th की बात है ये, तो 10th में हिंदी में सीबीएसई के द्वारा 100 में से 100 आना विषय में एक भाषा के बहुत बड़ी बात थी मेरे लिए। और मुझे पढ़ाते हुए 30 साल हो गए हैं सर, तो उसके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं फिर, कैसा अचीवमेंट करूं और मैं?
मैडम सबसे बड़ी whatever she has achieved with her and your both joint efforts is a great thing, because to achieve 100 marks in CBSE in a language subject is a very great thing. So definitely it was a remarkable thing. You can
Thank you,
write
sir.
to CBSE, because definitely whenever the CBSE issues the certificates, but due to current pandemic situation, it might have been delayed. But definitely you can write it along with that mark list, and CBSE will definitely consider. But at the same time, these certificates are some whatever it is having some importance. At the same time, our achievements through our eyes, through our students' eyes, are very important than that. So you will get definitely that certificate,
Yes,
but at the same
that
time, we
I know,
all feel
that
very
I
happy
know
that
very
you
well.
have achieved such a great milestone in your life. Great.
नो सर, मैं मेरे जीवन में बहुत कुछ संस्था की, जैसे मेरी प्राचार्य थी 2011 की बात है सर, बैथल स्कूल सिवनी बनापुरा से, तो वो प्रिंसिपल मैडम की डेथ हो गई थी और उन्होंने मेरे 18 के 18 स्टूडेंट 80% के ऊपर आए थे 12th में। उन्होंने कहा आप अवार्ड लीजिएगा शिक्षा मंत्री से भोपाल जाकर। मैंने कहा नो, मेरे लिए मेरी प्रिंसिपल मैडम चली गई, इससे बड़ा दुख क्या हो सकता है। अवार्ड की कोई बात नहीं सर, बच्चे को थोड़ा अप्रिशिएट होना चाहिए।
So your students must be remembering you, and that is a great achievement, because your student there
Yes, sir.
will be definitely mark
Yes, sir.
of your teaching on the life of students. और वही सबसे बड़ा important चीज है.
जी, सही है सर, सही। आपने बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाया सर, सभी की तरफ से। मैं एकलव्य परिवार धोखेड़ा की तरफ से आपको थैंक्स देना
नहीं,
चाहती
मैंने कुछ पढ़ाया नहीं, मैंने तो ये सब जो भी मेरे पास थोड़ा बहुत जमा पूंजी है वो मैंने शेयर किया है. नॉट टॉट, आई एम नॉट दैट कॉम्पिटेंट टू टीच एनीबॉडी. आई वाज जस्ट शेयरिंग द माय थॉट्स.
हूँ। नो सर, नो सर, बहुत अच्छा लगा आपसे मिलकर, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से आपने हम सबको समझाया है। वेरी गुड सर, एक्सीलेंट।
Thank you, madam. Now I
थैंक यू।
would like to take another question. What is the
थैंक
role
यू।
of teacher in this pandemic? Thank you. What is the role of teacher in this pandemic?
The very important thing currently is a teacher, because teacher is always considered as a role model as far as students are concerned. They are observing, the society is observing, the parents are observing. So everybody was and is scared of in this pandemic. And what we have observed, that the persons who were susceptible to this pandemic were lacking the moral, who have lost their moral, who have lost their battle to fight for life, have lost their life. So what we have to do, that we have to build moral of the students. That is very important. Bring the courage, build the courage of the students, that okay. And if we will keep busy, because what I have observed that our honorable chancellor sir has also done, that they have kept ourselves, we have kept so much busy in various activities, in various creative activities, so that we were not worried about the pandemic. Because if we are having, there is a one Hindi phrase that आप खाली मन जो यदि होता है तो वो उसमें बहुत सारे thoughts आ जाते हैं. So if you will keep the students engrossed, focused on their future goals, then that will be a great gift for them. Then they will not have any fear of this pandemic at this moment, and they will have the good immunity also, because fear makes to lose a lot of immunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. There are many questions, but as we have short of time, I would like to take last question. That question is from my side. Sir, during online classes, students are not focused as they were in the walls of school, in the classroom. So give us some tips to make them focused during online class. So,
You are very correct. See, what happens that normally what happens that continuously the students cannot remain focused as far as, or any human being cannot remain focused beyond 10 minutes. That is the observation. So all the good teachers, what they are doing, that I will share you, that after every 10 minutes, either you have to ask some questions, have the interaction, ask their feedback about what they have learned. Second thing is show them some video clip relevant with the topic. Then show them some animation relevant with the topic, so that what happens that, or bring some jaw-dropping numbers. That okay, I will tell you now the data. Suppose you are telling about the species. So, okay, how many species are there? Now I am telling you, and you just show them the graph. So what happens that they get again focused. So after every 10 minutes, you have to bring such thing so that they will again focus to the subject. Because after every 10 minutes, everybody will have that natural habit of distraction, and they will have distraction, they will move, they will not attentive. So you have to you have to plan your lecture in such a way, because in one-to-one communication it is possible. Because what we do, that we give some assignment, we take a round, we ask the question, we ask somebody to solve the problem, we interact, we discuss. So it is possible when we are on face-to-face. But when we are online, then every 10 minutes we have to do some such activity which will bring them back to that class mentally. Physically they will be there, but mentally we have to bring them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session you gave and giving us valuable suggestion for teaching learning process. Hope most of you have got your answers. Now, may I call upon Bharti Sharma ma'am to present vote of thanks. Over to Bharti ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is said that the more you thank life, the more life gives you to be thankful for. And I hope the more we thank Mr. Kulkarni, Vice Chancellor of Sage University Indore, for conducting such a valuable session, the more opportunities he is going to give us to attend his sessions. Thank you so much, sir. And I would like to extend my gratitude towards all the esteemed edu-leaders and educators who have joined us today. Please do share your feedbacks with us through your forms, mails, messages. Your valuable suggestions and feedbacks are awaited. And I would like to thank Ms. Neelam Chaudhary, Principal SIS, for moderating, conducting the question answer session very effectively, and also helping us to arrange this session. And last but not the least, I would like to thank Mr. D. Ashok, President of our Sahodaya, for his untiring efforts. So I, Bharti Sharma, Principal Sharda Vidya Mandir Higher Secondary School, Sihor, and Secretary, Sahodaya Group of CBSE Schools, Bhopal, thank one and all for your presence in today's webinar. And I'll be waiting for you in our upcoming sessions also. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you.